Hello, HMS 6th grade Bobcats. Mr. Flato here. Welcome back to what I hope will be a great week for each and every one of you at the Helena Middle School. Last week, I reached out to some of your teachers and said, hey, get a feel for the 6th graders, looking for new Bob lesson ideas. What are some ideas that you guys may have? And one of your teachers reached out to some of you and said, my kids would like to hear more about how to avoid drama. Thank you for doing that. Again, these Bob lessons are to help you guys with topics and trends and things that are important to you. Makes a lot of sense. We're now in spring of 6th grade. 6th grade is a crazy year. You kids kind of come in pretty nervous, kind of with your middles or your elementary cliques. And by the time we get into the spring of 6th grade, some of you are starting to turn into teenagers. Some of the social stuff is starting to pick up. And this is the trend that happens every year. It'll continue into 7th grade. So I think this is the perfect time to talk about this subject. Drama. What is middle school without drama? Unfortunately, you kids are at a time in your life where interpersonal relationships and social relationships are a huge part of the developmental stage you're in. It's appropriate. Every middle school all across the world, middle school kids are dealing with similar situations. Get to talk about a really important quote. We're all born naked, cold, and afraid, and we spend the rest of our lives trying to get our needs met. That means that we're a little bit selfish, a touch egocentric in life, and that is the core of what plays out. So on today's Bob lesson, I'm going to talk about a little bit about that empathy piece that's so important, that touches everything. Try to define what drama is and why is it, and then I came up with 8 to 10 helpful tips to try to help you kids navigate that. So I hope you guys have a great week. I hope this Bob lesson is helpful for you. All right, we're off and running. Brand new Bob lesson, avoiding drama in middle school, at request of you 6th graders. But first, let's be our best this week at HMS. Let's be safe. Let's be responsible. Let's be respectful. Let's be a learner. We're all born naked, cold, crying, and afraid. This is a quote that I heard years ago. It was counseling therapeutically related. And over the years, it's a quote that I've came back to a lot when working with students, and here's why. We are all born into this world in the same state, and as human beings, we spend the rest of our lives trying to get our needs met, whether those needs are friendship, love, acceptance, companionship, needs, somewhere to live, clothing, whatever. We all as human beings have needs that we're constantly trying to get met. And it's really important to look through that lens when we get into the next slide and we're talking about what is drama, because I think a lot of drama simply is the manifestation or the result of people trying to get their needs met. And that's what this whole thing really is about. So as we get into what exactly is drama, have you ever stopped and thought about that? A lot of times people think, well, drama is friction between people, unnecessary friction maybe. I think drama is differences in opinion, a lot of times conflict in different people trying to get their needs met. Again, going back to that previous slide. One of the main needs that students have at this age in middle school, it's a very social time, and one of those needs is relationships. I think a lot of kids want a group of friends that they authentically and organically belong to, that they trust, that they have shared interests, character, and values in. And a lot of what drama really is students trying to work to get there and keep that. Drama at the middle school level is usually passive aggressive. When we think of drama, it's usually passive aggressive. That's rumors, that's side-eyeing, that's talking behind people's back. And a lot of times this conflict arises through people trying to find the right social connections, relationships, and friendships. That to me is what this is all about. Drama a lot of times is truly tied to insecurity about the loyalty and trustworthiness in friendship alignments. A lot of the drama, quote unquote, I see stems from students being insecure. A lot of times when I get to the last slide and I talk about how to avoid drama and things we can do, it takes security. It takes being confident to be able to do those things. A lot of times insecurity about, are my friends loyal? Are they being loyal? Are they being trustworthy? Did they share something that they weren't supposed to share? And maybe a friend that was hanging out with us and now they're hanging out with another group of kids. Like, that is where a lot of times what the drama comes from and what it looks like at the middle school level. Is drama inevitable on some level? I think it is. I think on some level it is impossible to avoid drama, especially at the middle school level. Unfortunately, we're working to minimize it. It is a time of major insecurity for everyone. Everybody in middle school is insecure on some level. And with insecurity, like I described in the last slide, comes actions that create drama. And a lot of times the impetus of this is losing friendships or not being able to hold on to friendships, or it's always relationship based, it feels like. Human beings are too complex. We are all too complex of creatures and inherently too egocentric. That means we're really looking through our own lens and looking to get our own needs met. And then that leads us to be selfish because we are all born naked, cold, crying, and afraid. And on some level, we have to be a touch selfish trying to get our needs met to look out for ourselves. And in a way, we're all competing with one another to get our needs met. So that brings me to my next slide. How do we minimize drama? And this was really, I think, the question that was asked, and some good guidelines here I came up with. Be respectful to everyone. I think a lot of times drama starts when people aren't being respectful. This one's big. Avoid speaking negatively behind other people's back. I think that is how a lot of times in middle school I see a lot of drama starting, is when you're talking negatively about people behind their back. So when we do have conflict, be upfront, honest, but tactful with people. Sometimes we have to tell people things that they're not going to want to hear, they're not going to want to like to hear. Be upfront, be honest about it, but do it in a tactful way. Don't engage with others when they're speaking negatively about other people. Being a good bystander is a good way to shut a lot of this down. You hear people speaking negatively about somebody else behind their back, don't engage with it. Be specific, mindful, and thoughtful with your words that come out of your mouth. A lot of times people can take your words, spin them. They may not interpret what you say for how you're wanting it to come out. And sometimes that can come out and get interpreted a certain way, and then you're being misrepresented. I really feel like in middle school, avoiding dating relationships until you're older is a big way to minimize drama. You get into 7th, 8th grade, it feels like the dating thing when students or kids are wanting to do that. It adds another dimension. It adds another layer of insecurity. It adds another layer of jealousy, of competition, of social status things that really tend at the end of the day to create more drama than anything. Avoid engaging in speculation, rumors, hearsay about other people. Kind of touched on the first slide, but you can kind of see that that this is where a lot of these things coming from. If other people engage in speculation, rumors, hearsay, be a good bystander and remind them that taking part in rumor spreading creates drama and you don't want to be a part of that. Being a good bystander, that is so powerful for kids at your age. If you have a phone and you have social media, be very mindful of what you post and how it could be interpreted or received by others. I've seen older students posting TikToks and things that other students feel like they are mocking or mimicking, or it is directed at them. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Again, that just creates drama. If you have a conflict or hear rumors about somebody, instead of going behind their back, letting it grow, talking with your friends about it, have direct communication with that person and find out what's really going on. I think that is so hard for kids at your age, but it is so important. If you hear something going on that you don't like, you hear something, just go talk to that person in a non-confrontational way and say, hey, I heard that you said this about me. I'm wondering what's going on with that, if it's true. And then finally, surround yourself with others who are committed to having a drama-free life. You are who you kind of start to surround yourself here coming up when you get into 7th and 8th grade. If you hang with like-minded friends and people that are committed to not having drama, that's a great way to find yourself having less drama. I really hope this helped. All right, that brings us to this week's quote of the week. There were many awesome quotes that I found on this, but I ended up settling on this one. Drama does not just walk into your life. Either you create it, invite it, or associate with it. To better your life, walk away from it. All right, let's give away some jelly beans, shall we? This week's winners: Xander Zipfel, Kaylin Weedle, Owen Mitchell, Jesse Stovall, and Jessica Lemon. What is the only bird that can swim but cannot fly? Penguins. You guys were all over that one. Had lots of answers. Remember, I just draw the first 5 correct answers every week. All right, this week's jelly bean question of the week. I'm the rare case when today comes before yesterday. What, where am I? If you think you know the answer, get your answer turned into the Bob box by the end of the week. Make sure your first and last name on it. Make sure it's legible. All right, Bobcats, let's make it a great week at D. Helena Middle School.